Hey there, welcome to the Christian Media Marketing Show. My name is John. Thanks for hanging out with me today. It is 2024, and I am recording this episode from our offices here, Kavanaugh offices at the airport here, Knoxville, Tennessee. There's some construction going on. There's some planes getting ready to fire off here. And so if you're hearing knocks and sounds and all sorts of stuff, it's a little chaotic around here. But I wanted to get this episode recorded, want to get this out to you, and I'm looking forward to spending some time with you today. I hope that your Christmas was good. I hope that your time of celebrating this new year has been good. Hopefully, you had some time to just maybe unplug a little bit and think through some things. And what I want to share with you today is a time of that for me and what I shared with my team and trying to play prophet a little bit about what I think is going to be happening for us and maybe for you too in this 2024 as we look forward to this next year. If the Lord waits to come back, if he gives us health and opportunities to serve him, then this is where we think things are going. And so I'm just going to play prophet for a little bit, and I know that's a dangerous thing to do because I'm kind of facetiously doing this because I recognize that as a prophet, you've got to be right every time. Well, on some of this stuff, it's not going to be something that probably, if I look back at the end of the year, may not be the thing that ended up being what we focused on or what the Lord did or what came about. But for right now, this is as I'm looking forward, as I am thinking, hopefully, more into the future of things that are going to go. This is what we are thinking about and areas of focus. So when we're talking about 2024, for you and for what you're looking at, I hope you did an end of year audit. I hope now that you're thinking through what do you want to do? What do you want to focus on in this coming year? And for us, I'm going to give you some examples. So, one is we just really want to think about groups. That's a key thing. And in formation of groups, but also in the training of groups. So much of what we do is individuals working with an individual team, or whatever. But I think that there is going to be opportunities. And so we're looking into this possibility of doing even more group types of training, bringing together groups that are the same focus, same language, maybe different orgs, because that's one of the things that's been a real blessing to us is because we get to work with so many different people is to see the data from them, see the struggles from them, see what's working. All of those things to us are really important to see a broader picture of what's happening. And then we use that to make strategic decisions. We are constantly tweaking, thinking about, trying to experiment. And so we're using that data to drive where we're going. And so we want to share that and think about group ways of doing that. But we also want to see group formation. We want to see that when an individual responds to an ad, that another person will be able to then hear from that and that that person will share with somebody else who will share with somebody else. That's important to us. And so we're trying to think groups in everything that we're doing. Secondly, we're thinking about automation and what ways can we take things that we do physically and automate it. And I think that's going to be an important thing in this coming year is that the tools for automation are going to get better and better. As we're using different things like AI and different types of software that's out there, it's going to continue to get better. So how can you automate the things that you do? Are there things that you do manually that maybe there's software that can do it? Yes, there's a cost, but think about the time savings that you might have. Another area is upskilling. And that means reading and thinking, reading broadly, taking classes, taking courses. There's so much information out there. So, how do we upskill ourselves and those we serve? How can you learn new things? Is there something that you're wanting to learn? Is there something that will benefit what you're doing? Think about upskilling in 2024. For us, then, some of these areas that we're going to focus on are things like this concept of internet speed. This is a term that I'm just kind of applying to a lot of stuff now. I'm not sure if I made it up or if I've read it someplace. If I did, I'd love to get credit. But as far as I know, I think I made this concept up. But just this idea that when you're operating, that what you do is at internet speed, not the old 20th century, not dial-up speed, not those kind of things, but the things that we're doing, that we work at internet speed, which means when somebody sends a message in, they're looking for a response back. That the content that you make may only have a short shelf life to it before it's no longer good. That the things that you're teaching, that like we do, or the things that we're doing, the processes have a shelf life to them that is less and less. That's internet speed. And so we want to work faster because the internet itself is getting faster. We want to always solve problems. It's really important. I did a breakfast and coffee this morning with a company, and I highly recommend them. If you're needing somebody for cybersecurity, they are really, really good. But there are things that others do where it's important for us to say, this is our swim lane, this is what we do well, this is not what we do, and or areas that we do not want to go into. And so we're looking for problems that we solve for the teams that we get the honor to serve. How do we solve those problems? But that doesn't always mean that we are doing them. Sometimes that means introducing them to somebody else or to a different group or to a different company, different software, whatever it might be. But we really want to solve problems here in 2024. We also want to continue to innovate and be disruptive. What has worked doesn't mean that it will continue to work. The things that were the norm aren't going to be the norm. And the speed of change itself is happening faster and faster. And so we want to continue to lead out and to innovate and be disruptive. Asking the question why is a big part of that. Why do we do it this way? Why have we chosen not to do it this way? Really being what I call OCD, or obsessive curiosity disorder. Always being curious and asking questions. This will help us lead into this innovation. And when each of a person on your team or on ours, we want people to own their performance. What I mean by that is just really taking ownership of what happens. There's hard things, there's things that happen in life, that's fine. But really owning what it is that you do and saying, listen, this is my area. This is what I'm leaning into, and I'm going to own that. I'm going to really lean into it. I'm going to learn into it. I'm going to upskill. I'm going to automate, whatever it might be. Really leaning into your stuff that you have under your control this year, owning that performance. And finally, a big thing for us is just this idea of smooth urgency. I don't want to ever lose that sense of urgency. Every click, every watch, every number that you see in your metrics is a real person. And there are realities of heaven and hell that are real. Do not forget that. But you can sometimes go so fast that things break. So in the military, we had this concept that smooth is fast, trying to remove these friction points, these obstacles, trying to always go, how can we make something better? Knowing that there's a shelf life to it, knowing things are working at internet speed, I understand that, but really trying to get the things down to probably an 80% or slightly higher level of smoothness, because beyond that, the get those last little bits isn't worth it for time investment or whatever. It doesn't need to be perfect, but it needs to get those glaring things that are these obstructions to it to help it move faster. That's true in airplanes, in flying, that you have parasitic drag. You have this stuff that's trying to always slow you down. Removing those things helps you go faster and smoother many times as well. So we want things to be as smooth as possible. So we're always looking at it, why, but we want to do it with a sense of urgency. So don't strive for perfection. I mean, it's good to go to the best that you possibly can, but understand that there's a point where the returns diminish. But don't let the urgency diminish in the work that you are doing. All right, I'd love to hear what your goals are for 2024. For us, we want to double, if the Lord allows, this next year. That's our number one goal. We want to double the amount of teams that we serve if the Lord allows. And we've got a new organization that's coming on board. We're really excited. about the people that we get to partner with. We care about them and we care about you. And so I hope that if there are ways that we can help you, you'll reach out. And we'd just love to hear what your plans are, what your goals are for 2024, either as a ministry, as your team, or maybe even just you individually. What are your goals for 2024? So if the Lord allows us this whole full year of fruitful life and ministry, then I hope it's one that really brings glory to him. May, when it's all said and done, may his name be lifted up. May he receive the praise. May he receive all the glory. Until next time, take care and God bless.